It was the late 1960s, and rock and roll was ushering in a new musical era. Escorting out the old guard was a young band from New Orleans, Bonaparte. 4 skinny boys from the bayou, Nero Tarsus, Stuart Boniface, Peter Patella, and a guitarist known only as Spur, were about to take the world by storm. It was only by chance that one of America's greatest bands even came together in the first place.
We went to college together. Spur and I were in pre-med. Well, we hung around in the biology lab together. Stu Bone was in the theater department as a prop in Frankenstein, I think.
It was a frat prank, really. We all ended up in the bottom of a pool at some sorority. We were just sitting there all night and we got to thinking, there must be more to death than this.
Yeah, that's when it hit me, man. A band.
Genius.
The band started working small clubs around New Orleans, and soon they picked up Peter Patella.
We were playing this tiny mausoleum. There were only maybe 10 heads in the crowd.
The only dude in there with a full set of bones was Pete, and he was working the door.
I'm okay. Roadies. Anyway, we needed a bass player, so we gunny-sacked Pete and took him along. We told him he had 1 week to learn the bass, or we'd drop him off at the dog pound.
Harsh, but necessary.
Soon after the addition of Peter Patella, Bonaparte released their first album, We Are Bonaparte. As they began to build a following, the band made the move from clubs to larger concert venues and expanded their lineup.
We were thinking about getting some backup singers when we heard Eva and Evelyn in a Baptist choir in Mississippi. They were gorgeous, man. Just singing out to the heavens. We got them to come in and help us out on our second record, Femur is Rising. And they just never left.
The girls were real pros right off. Everyone loved having them around. Well, except for Pete's girlfriend, Lily. She was kind of jealous, and there were some ruffled feathers for a while. But Eva and Evelyn really filled out the band's sound.
They've been ordained in the Church of Soul.
Nice.
The band worked hard and continued to build their audience. Their timing could not have been better. They soon found themselves at the most important musical event of the decade, Bonestock.
All the greats were there. We went on between the Grateful Living and Janis Jawbone. That was when we knew we were destined for the big time.
The band's rising fame brought them to the attention of industry giant Epsilon Records, and before long they were signed to a 15-album contract. The result was the immediate release of the edgy Semi-Zygomatic, quickly followed by the controversial No Skin on My Back.
It wasn't the music that got us into trouble with the label. It was the cover. With that shot of Lily.
What was the problem with the cover?
Are you kidding? Look at her, man. She's not wearing any clothes.
Totally naked.
But trouble with Epsilon Records was exactly what Bonaparte needed to propel them to the top of the charts. Their next album, Carpal Diem, went gold, platinum, and then multi-platinum, as everyone wanted to hear the #1 hit, Body Parts.